If you're 16 years old, this is what I would do to become a millionaire. I want you to read these 3 books.
Move that idea from your head that you need money to start a business. You don't need investors, you don't need money, you don't need anything.
Fastest way to make $1 million to make yourself have enough knowledge.
This is how to make $1 million in 1 year. You'll need 5,000 people to buy a $200 product.
If you're broke, just come to the middle of the ocean and start filling up empty bottles with the ocean water.
How to make $1 million a year as a completely broke person. First of all, go to the bank and take out a loan of only $1 million. Then look for a real estate property to rent for that $1 million, probably for rent or mortgage, anyone you prefer. Then over the next 10 years, try your best to pay out the $1 million. If you know you don't want to put out real estate properties for rent or mortgage, you can just buy them or flip them, because a friend of mine who is broke bought a $10 million house and sold it for $13 million. Can you believe that? A broke person bought a house of $10 million and sold it for $13 million, and he did this like 30 something times in a year. So you can imagine the amount of money that he made from doing this side hustle. By the way, if that doesn't work for you, you can just go ahead and open up a business that can make you times 10 of that $1 million that you just loaned from that particular company. Yeah. A person actually said that. A finance guru or YouTuber or influencer, however you want to say it, told us broke people that we should go to a bank and bring out or loan $1 million. Who in their right mind, or what bank in this world will ever give a broke person that they don't have any proof of how they're going to repay back that money $1 million? Not $100, not $1,000. $1 million! Okay, so I feel like I'm kind of qualified to speak on this topic. Why is that? A few years back, I was into finance YouTube, like OG. I'm not an OG, but you get what I'm trying to say. I was so into it that every single day I wake up to watch a financial video. How I can earn $50 as a broke person who doesn't even have $1 in an account, and so on and so forth. And as you can see, I was downloading Webull back to back, trying Quotex, binary options, and so on and so forth. I was there at just 14 years old. So as you can imagine, these people I'll be mentioning in this video were once my role model. So yeah, I am kind of qualified to speak about this. The rise of finance bros and finance influencers of YouTube. Let's get right into it, shall we? Over the past few years, a new wave of influencers have taken over YouTube, claiming to offer the secret to wealth, success, and financial freedom. And as we all know, a lot of people want to know the secret to success, wealth, and financial freedoms. So they'll want to, listen to these influencers who will teach them for free how to be wealthy and get rich quick. That's where the get rich quick schemes started coming into place. Now, if you don't know what a get rich quick scheme is, it's basically when you get rich with no effort or little to no effort. In summary, a get rich quick scheme is actually a scam. A scam, because you cannot get rich quick. Most of the time it's just luck, and who is to say who will be lucky and who won't be lucky? People will lose and people will win. Not everyone is gonna win in a get rich quick scheme. Which leads us to talk about the influencers who constantly promote the get rich quick schemes, and they're just like plain on greedy and want money for themselves. Okay, the first YouTuber I'm going to be talking about is Stephan. If you don't know who Stephan is one of the YouTubers who give real estate investment advice and financial tips. Now, Graham is one of the OG people, because and it's one of the most popular actually. Graham has about 2 million subscribers on YouTube, and he gives real estate advice and financial tips advice, like how to become a millionaire at 26 and how he has a real estate business or real estate investment, whatever, at 26 years old. Graham started facing backlash when he started promoting risky stock investments and suspicious or questionable sponsorships.
FTX US has been a sponsor here on the channel for the majority of the year. FTX.com has recently faced liquidity issues, disabled withdrawals, and because of that, I'm worried about the potential impact to FTX US. I think it's pretty safe to say as a result of that, I'm no longer working with them.
And as we already know by now, whatever you promote as an influencer or a YouTuber kind of represents you in a way, because even though you know that that thing is a scam, or not. If you accept that sponsorship and that thing later turns out to be a scam, people are going to come back to you and say, oh, you promoted this to your audience, don't you know about what's going on? An example is FTX, which the owner or the two co-owners were put in jail for basically scamming people who registered for FTX. And Stephan came out to issue an apology to people, basically saying, go and remove the money in your wallet if you still have some. That doesn't really change anything because it's still a scam. Even though some of the people were able to take out their money, doesn't mean that nobody lost their money. And I love the fact that he came out to apologize, but then it was rumored that FTX spent a whole lot of money on sponsorships, like up to $50,000 a month for a sponsorship. I believe that bigger YouTubers collected way more than that, but 50k? Sign me up. No, I'm not up to scam my fans, but do I have any fans? Stephan was also accused of selling overpriced courses, meaning that the courses that he's selling wasn't even up to the price that he's charging for it. Like, these are things that you can probably find on YouTube for free, but you know, Graham has to charge people about $97 upwards to buy his course. Graham sells courses like real estate investing for beginners, stock market investing for beginners. The both of them are actually $97 each. And it also has Stephan's masterclass or YouTube masterclass, which is about $297. $297 for a YouTube masterclass. Something that you probably already find on YouTube for free. Yeah, it's a YouTube masterclass, so you can probably find it on YouTube for free. There are YouTubers out there that are teaching you how to grow on YouTube perfectly, regardless of what your niche is. You can grow on YouTube because people are out here giving out that information for free. By the way, no hate to Graham. I feel like he's really doing good. Even to now, he still gets good amount of views, but I feel like people are now trusting him less because of like his past sponsorship and the high risk stock investments that he kind of, you know, told his fans to look into. Anyways, we're gonna move on to the next one, which is Tai Lopez. Tai Lopez. And I believe maybe you've seen this meme before. I'm here in my garage. Knowledge. You don't need money, you need knowledge. Yeah, that's Tai Lopez, the infamous man who did that video which turned into a meme and went absolutely viral. I was doing research and I was just seeing different courses that this guy has. This guy has a lot of courses and they're not cheap. Tai became one of the first YouTubers to gain attention with the You're in My Garage video, and it was also promoting, you know, wealth building courses and a luxurious lifestyle. He got into quite a few controversies, and I'm kind of even giving him the grace for this. It's not quite a few, it's a lot of controversies, like selling overpriced courses, like they're giving out too much promises that are not realistic, like over-promising people, saying that okay, if you buy this course you probably get enough value from it, but it was probably useless. And again, you can probably find that on YouTube for free. Some of his courses include 67 steps for about $497, social media marketing for about $997, and goes on and on. I believe he has a course for over $1,500. Y'all, as we all know, like, okay, I just want to say this, right? I feel like some finance YouTubers don't know their audience. Obviously, if someone is watching you, they want to make their life better, to know how they can improve their financial situation. Now, telling them to pay about $500 and above for a course. Think about it, $500 for a course on 67 steps. What are those 67 steps that I cannot do myself, or you cannot tell me for free? I believe that yeah, my garage video has about 7-something million views, which is a lot of views. So you can imagine the amount of, you know, publicity that Tai Lopez got. So how much money did he make from that one single video? And Burr is still stingy out there trying to get money from his fans, if he still has fans. Iman Gadzhi. Iman Gadzhi. Bro, I don't really know if I'm pronouncing his name properly. If you don't know who Iman is a digital marketing entrepreneur who rose to fame by teaching other people how to create a digital marketing agency and, you know, make money as fast as possible using his knowledge. Let me just say something real quick, right? Iman Gadzhi is definitely one of the people that I do believe to an extent. Probably I believe him 10% of the time, but due to his videos, I've been making videos, I believe, since when he was 16 or 17 years old, trying to build his wealth to become a millionaire by 18 years old. And I believe he achieved that particular goal, but he kind of documented, you know, his processes on how he wanted to really become a millionaire at a young age. But then I watched a video whereby he said he just came back from a vacation to Italy. Please, how many middle class people actually go on vacations to Italy? Oh, I'm waiting for a response. Like, how many people do you know that are probably low class or middle class that go on vacations to Italy? These people are kind of out of touch. They're making it seem like as if they rose from nothing to something. By the way, people also speculating, or Iman Gadzhi actually said it by itself, but nobody knows if he's lying or not. He has a stepdad, or he had a stepdad who was probably a billionaire, and he was only around for like 90 days or 120 days a year. So you can tell me that a person who is that rich enough to write off tax.
I actually had like the perfect childhood. Like I was in London, grew up wealthy. I lived in Chelsea in one of his houses. So the thing is, he actually lived in Dubai. So one of the benefits, one of the benefits for him was he got to, basically there's a lot of tax benefits for him, where he got to make sure he wasn't living in the UK technically, but still had ties to the UK because of his family.
Yo, I believe that Iman Gadzhi was rich and he had the opportunity to build his business with the money that he was given. Now, I'm not trying to discredit how far he has come with his whole, you know, YouTube journey and his courses, because a normal average person cannot afford to go to Italy for a vacation. A normal average person cannot afford to pay $1,000+ for your course. Let's be for real right now. I feel like people are not being more out of touch because they feel like finances is something that you can joke with. No, it's not. Iman Gadzhi has courses like the Agency Navigator for about $2,000, SEO Blueprints for about $997, approximately $1,000, and Grow Your Agency for over $2,000. That's not all, actually. That's not all. He has something called the Gents Croquet Club, and that ranges anywhere from $5,000 to $10,000 annually. Who in their right mind will pay $5,000 to $10,000 for a club whereby the owner doesn't even reply to people? They're obviously not getting the value for what they paid for. Because if I'm paying $5,000 a year or $10,000 a year, you're supposed to be calling me every single day to make sure that I'm okay. It's not about only teaching me how to make money or what business is accelerating or not, or decelerating. Iman Gadzhi still gets good views on his YouTube channel, which is fair enough, but $10,000 annually. Another thing Iman is being bashed for is because he closed down his agency, and according to people, they got some publicly available documents basically stating that Iman earns about $100,000 a year compared to the $1 million he claims to be earning in a year. That's quite unfortunate, let me not lie to you. I don't know what else to say in this case. I just feel like financial YouTubers, obviously, they are trying to get money from you by selling courses. That's what makes them rich, right? That's basically what makes them rich. There's no other way to say it, because when you buy their courses, they teach you bogus things. I'm not trying to say all financial YouTubers are a scam, because some of them actually offer great value for the amount of money that they are charging you upfront for. There are a lot of people that I did not mention at all. For example, Dan Luke, Alex Homozi, and Meet Kevin. Those are the three people that I know up here, but there are a lot of financial out of touch influencers that just want to take your money from you. By the way, shout out to Coffeezilla and Spencer Cornelia. They are doing great work out there. Shout out to you guys. You guys are the best. Now, let's talk about out of touch celebrities, because it's just cringe. Remember the time Kim Kardashian was basically telling us that we should get up our ass and work?
I have the best advice for women in business. Get your f***ing ass up and work. It seems like nobody wants to work these days.
That's so true.
You have to surround yourself with people that want to work.
A multi-millionaire is telling people who are struggling to get food on their table, who can't even get work because of the unemployment rate. A black woman, I believe she goes by the name Willie, she basically went on a show calling Gen Z lazy, that we don't want to work more than 4 hours a day.
Sorry, if you only want to work 4 hours, it's going to be harder for you to get a house. We busted our behinds. We had to bust our...
Hi, Whoopi. I'm Freddie. I run numbers on the internet, and I got to show you something. The minimum wage in 1980 was $3.10. It is now $7.25. The average salary was $12,500. It's now $59,000. And the median household income was $22,000, and now it's only $77,000 for a 3.5 times increase. However, rent was $243 on average. Now it is $1,900 for a 7.8 times increase. The median house price was $47,000. It is now $419,000. And the big one, college, was $2,300. It is now $30,000, 13 times more expensive. Our median household income, to feel like they did back then, for rent should be $171,000 for the family. And for college, it'd be equivalent to our family making $286,000. And to remind everyone, the median household income is $77,000. So Whoopi, with all due respect, I think millennials and Gen Zs have it at least 8 to 10 times harder than you all did.
One thing about celebrities who are multi-millionaires is that they always like to talk down on poor people or average people because they feel like we're lazy. Because if we're not lazy, how come we're not millionaires yet? Because we work for the system, duh. People like you will just go outside and say whatever they want because obviously the multi-millionaires. Things right now are a lot harder than how it was back then. Right now, you can hardly even buy a house because of how expensive houses and lands are. Forget about the things in the US. What about Nigeria? It's basically the same thing. So there's this guy on TikTok who basically just rants and rants from morning till night without actually making a point.
Every 15-year-old kid should be doing this right now. If you're getting an allowance of $300 a month, buy a piece of real estate that pays you $30 a month. Only use the 30, don't touch the 300.
But how would a young, normal person get money?
Allowance, side jobs, side hustles. I was 14 years old. I was working every weekend. I was mowing lawns, doing whatever I could to get some extra money.
What he's basically trying to say is that a child can become a millionaire by the time he or she is 20. The only thing the parent has to do is just to give them an allowance of $300 a month. $300 a month. What minimum wage working parent or parents in the middle class or lower class has $300 to give to their 15-year-old child? You know what $300 can do? I feel like all those people, they think that $300 is not a lot of money, so why wouldn't a parent give a child $300 to spend on whatever they want or to save or to invest? Because $300 is a lot of money. So this guy coming on here and being like, every parent should give their child $300 and he can just invest it in real estate and get like $30 or $40 a month. What real estate property costs $300? Are you trying to tell me that if I have $300 right now, I can go rent a real estate property? Even his 14-year-old daughter doesn't know what is actually going on in real life. The guy claims that he doesn't give his 14-year-old daughter an allowance. And the girl's like, here's how I want to be a millionaire by 20.
I'm going to be a millionaire before I'm 20, and this is how. I work for my dad's company. I have a contract with them, and I get paid every month. And that goes into real estate where I get my passive income, and I get to spend that. But I never get to touch that principal. And over time, that principal in real estate will make me a millionaire.
She's doing a job. She's doing chores. She's doing work. I do not give her an allowance. Okay, the 50,000 times 10 years, which she will have at least 10 years, is 500 grand. I'm never going to give a kid an allowance for living in my house. Shit, she's lucky to live in my house.
Like, yo, your father is already a millionaire. You're a nepo baby. No matter how much you try to downplay it, you are a nepo baby. The guy's like, I don't give my 14-year-old daughter an allowance. She makes her money by herself. Okay, let's hear it. How does she make her money by herself? She works for my company, and at the end of the and by the end of the month, she's paid a certain amount of money from the profit that she gained for that month. Like, you're basically trying to say the same thing. No matter how you try to put it, the amount of money you give your child for their own spending is called an allowance. As far as coming out of your pocket, regardless of if it's coming out from your pocket or your company, it still belongs to you. So you are giving out an allowance one way or the other. This is not just realistic, and it's really pissing me off because I know a lot of people are looking, thinking that this is realistic when it's not realistic. My job over here right now is to clear up the unrealistic standards that people always set for other people because they're making you feel like, oh, you're poor for a reason. So why are you poor if you can just afford $300 to give your 15-year-old child to invest so that it can be a millionaire by the time they're 20? Or this other guy that was on TikTok telling us that he has met so many nepo babies and they wish that they weren't rich. Which I do understand, because nepo babies, they're only seen for the fact that, you know, their parents are rich and they had everything come easy to them. But that doesn't still like take away from the fact that yes, they had everything given to them. Some of them also tried to distance themselves from their parents, but their parents still had a working or a hand in what they currently have today. And it's basically trying to say that the poor should remain poor because they don't want to feel like how these nepo babies are feeling, like they don't have any purpose in life because their parents always help them. If I was a nepo baby, I will use that to good use. Like, I don't even have to suffer. These people are basically telling us to stay poor so that we won't feel like how a nepo baby is currently feeling. The rich is telling us to stay poor, and people are also out there being like, I want to give out my riches, I don't really feel happy now that I'm rich. Boy, give it to me. See me, I'm here, like I'm here in full flesh. I can even be there in full flesh. If you want to give me your millions of dollars because it doesn't make you happy, then give it to me. Yo, I have a lot of things to say for her. Remember when Oprah and Dwayne Johnson were trying to raise money for a charity, but there's nothing wrong. Give to charity. If you want to give to charity, go ahead. I feel like it's a very, very good cause that we have to promote more often. But these people, I believe Oprah is worth about 2.3 billion USD dollars, and Dwayne Johnson is worth about 800 million USD dollars, and these people donated $5 million each. And according to people, they said $5 million is about 0.2% of Oprah's wealth. And it's about 0.6% of Dwayne Johnson's wealth. People are trying to say that they would have donated more than that instead of telling the poor to donate to the poor. Like, they're extremely rich. They would have funded the entire charity. And by the way, there's some comments that I don't really support. Yes, I believe that these celebrities are rich, but the way they promoted it made it seem like the charity can never actually go on until when poor people donate to other poor people. When Oprah would have just called up all her friends and be like, hey, help me donate like $1 million to this particular cause, and they would donate that $1 million and the charity would close. So I could understand why they got a lot of backlash from this particular charity. Stop trying to be relatable because you're not, and it's fine. Do you know how many people really want to be multi-millionaires? Like, don't really have to worry about the next food they're gonna eat or their financial situations. A lot of people would take that opportunity if they had it. There's no such thing as you not wanting to be rich because you'll not be happy, because there are a lot of people who want to be rich right now because of their financial situations. So I have a problem when people come online and say, oh, don't be rich because of, you know, you don't really know what will happen when you get rich. Well, let me get rich first before I start looking for what will happen. What are the lessons learned from this video? Mind the type of financial YouTuber you put your trust in, because even till date, people still promote pump and dumps. I know of NFT coins that are down 90%. So if I invested $1,000 at that point, I will only be left with $100. Some of them are even worse than that. And most of the people that promoted this are influencers, celebrities, and YouTubers, which doesn't make any sense because you're basically scamming your fans, and it's not good. So all in all, just mind the type of finance bro or finance YouTuber you're listening to, because a financial advisor is supposed to give you financial advice. That's why people always recommend you get an accountant and a lawyer, because finance is such a very huge topic. Like, it's such a very huge, fragile thing that someone can probably lose in just a blink of an eye. So you should really, really be sure of who you are listening to about your finances. And don't listen to celebrities. I think we should already know this, or we should have known this from like 2020. Even though some of them came up with like a rag to riches story, or probably they were raised with nothing, but now they are rich, or they've been rich for a couple years. So you don't still understand what poor people are going through at this time. That is why people are always coming for them. So if you've lost money in one of these pump and dump schemes or listening to celebrities, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. The thing is that people don't really understand that $50 that financial YouTuber is saying is small or just $50 can actually change someone's life. I remember when I was just 14 and I'll just look at these people and they will say, you can just put $10. How I wish I actually had $10. I would not be watching that video. Do you get what I'm trying to say? And I believe that is the same thing for most teenagers and sometimes even some adults, because most of them don't have that $50, $100, $100,000 and these financial YouTubers are always pushing on them to have, because they don't just have it. I don't like the way financial YouTubers always make it seem, or even celebrities in general, always make it seem like as if we don't want to work, we don't want to take the risk. Well, if you take the risk, how would we eat? How would we afford the basic groceries? Because this can work in my favor or it may not work in my favor. And you can say that the chances that it's working in your favor is way lower than chances that it will not work in your favor. So please don't listen to all those people. Please get an accountant or a lawyer to make sure that your finances are managed properly and in the right way. Okay, so what is basically the conclusion? I just want everyone to live their life the way they want to, but be very mindful of who you actually listen to, because all these people are multi-millionaires and how they mostly make their money is by selling you courses or selling you an advice. And because you look up to these people, you want to buy things from them thinking that is real, because most of them aren't real and they just want to take your money away from you. So be very, very mindful, and I really hope and pray that you become the millionaire that you always wanted to be. With that being said, that's all for this video. I'm gonna see you in the next one.